Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a veteran, welcome back. Hans, I heard about superstitious behavior. What
in a dog?
in a dog? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
Superstition is something which we humans or dogs do, which makes no sense, but has a strong belief.
Yeah.
Like, I was racking my brain for longest time why when we start protection, the dog would spin or even bite you and then attack, right?
Yeah.
And I finally, I think, figured it out. And I think it's the superstitious behavior. The superstitious behavior is a form of a default. And we have, so what is default? Default is what the dog learns first, likes the most, does the best, and reverts to when under stress. That's default.
Big one.
That's a default. That's really important, at least in my system of training.
Yeah.
Okay, and and default could be desirable or undesirable or neutral, right? So desirable is, you know, if I teach the dog protection, I tell the dog when you hear the alert command, the guy in front of you is your enemy. That's a desirable default, you know. So then the dog, for the rest of his life, if I give him the alert command, I teach him that first session, and then the dog for the rest of his life will know that when he hears the alert command that the guy in front of him is his enemy, right? Then you have, that's desirable.
Yeah.
Undesirable is you teach the dog, again, I'm going to use the example from protection, you teaching the dog that when they hear a command, they're going to bite into the sleeve, right? And once you develop the default for the rest of the life, the dog will prefer to bite into the sleeve when he hears a command.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have the neutral one where a dog does some weird stuff, which is not neither good or bad, right? But it's there every time. So, example, when you alert the dog will spin. You've seen it as horchichka, you know. And you know what? I'm training dogs for 56 years, and I still try to figure stuff out. It was just baffling me. Why the heck is that dog spinning when he hears the command? Right? And then I realized it's a default or superstitious behavior, right? In other words, she thinks she has to spin in order to get the attack. Just like you want to have a good luck, you don't walk under the ladder, right? Right? Okay, I got to do this in order to get that, right? And you know, in my training, I kind of don't care if the dog spins, but in sport, it's a big deal, right? And and I realized, you know, just tells you how much I know. I realized that what we do, the dog may spin because it's excited, right? And so the decoy comes and hits it over the ass when it spins. Right? And then we let the dog go. So the dog learns, if I spin, they will let me go. You see? And we let him go because we don't want him to spin. So we want to preempt it, but sometimes the dogs spin and we let them go, and now we develop default that I gotta spin before they let me go. It's like obedience, you know, or something like that, you know. And that's the superstitious behavior. And so when you train the dog, you know, or you know, you gotta make sure that you avoid this type of stuff, right? So, or you know, it cannot be just in protection. It could be like in obedience, right? So you walk a heel and you stop, and the dog sits crooked because he want to look at you, and you pet it.
Yeah.
So the dog says, okay, I gotta sit crooked in order to get petted.
And sometimes the person doesn't even know you're actually making the
and people say, well, I said, no, don't pet the dog if it sits crooked.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, for starter, that's good. No, the starter is where you develop this type of behavior.
Yeah.
So once you teach the dog that if they sit crooked, you will pet them. You did just once.
What?
The dog says, oh,
so
okay,
smart.
this is what I need to do. Why is it taking only so little? It's a matter of survival, right? If the dog is living in a wilderness like a wolf or something, they don't have very many tries on survival, right? Mm-hmm. So they gotta adapt to what works.
It's gotta work. Either it works or doesn't work.
If it works, the dog is a spin or sit crooked, and they get what they want, then they will keep doing it, right? So we basically train the dog into this type of superstitious behavior.
Or they're training you in a way a little bit too.
Yeah. But basically,
I mean, it could be different situation. What I'm saying, they're smart. If I do this, then I get.
So when you train the dog and dog is doing weird stuff like that, think backwards, and figure, and you can figure it out. You can probably never get really rid of the problem.
Yeah. Once you establish it.
Once it's established, or it's gonna be a hell to pay. And when you put the dog under stress, he still will go to that default. Okay. Yeah. But maybe next dog, when you train, you will avoid that mistake, right? Yeah. And there's infinity of possibilities of these superstitious behaviors, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's superstitious behavior.
Yeah. No, that's it sounds simple on top, but
it's not simple.
Took you
50 years.
50 years.
Or more.
Yeah, more. Right.
To figure it out.
So Hans just shared something that took him,
Yeah, I'm an idiot, man. What can I say?
They're not an idiot.
But I asked many trainers. I was asking them, why is the dog spinning? Well, a lot of it is also called misdirected aggression, right? Mm-hmm. So like dog will, like your dog, Kai, he would spin and bite you.
He used to do that,
Yeah, and then we let him go, right? Or we give him a bite because we want him to focus on the decoy, we thought naively. So now the dog learned, if I bite my guy, I'm gonna get the bite of the bad guy, right? Yeah. And this type of behavior, misdirected aggression is really a form of superstitious behavior, right? But it can develop into superstitious behavior.
It can.
Right? So you have a dog, it's like I compare it to bar fight, right? The guy wanna fight with another guy and friends are holding him back. The friends is the handler in case of the dog, right? Yeah. Holding the dog back. And the dog says, let me go. I hate you if you don't let me. So they hit him and the friend said, okay, let him go, right? And the handler with the dog is saying, let me go. And he bites his own handler, right? So handler said, okay, I'll let him go. And once you do that, you develop superstitious behavior. Or dog says, okay, if I bite my handler, and it will take you years to fix it.
Undo it,
So.
Yeah, no, that's good. And there's, as Hans likes to call dog training, it's a conglomerate of things, and you have to have it like a Swiss watch in a way. The parts have to go together in the correct place because the watch doesn't work then.
Yeah. So. Or those Chinese, what do you call it? Mind twisters or whatever. You out of wood you make like a cross, or you put it fits different way. Yeah. I don't know what's called. Yeah. It's the Chinese made them. You get a pile of wood and you can turn it into. If you can put them together in specific way, it will make this cross.
Yeah. It has to work.
Or cube or whatever. Yeah. I'll find it on internet. I'll put a picture of it there.
Okay.
Yeah. So beware of superstitious behavior.
Yeah.
Are you superstitious?
Am I superstitious?
Yeah.
I'm sure I have been, not as much as I used to, but yeah, there's it kicks in there. So I think every human kind of has that a little bit.
Yeah, break of the, what is it called? Dodecatrescaphobia.
What's that?
Fear of number 13.
Oh. Yeah.
Very common.
Yeah.
Dodecatrescaphobia.
You know, people have, of course, the black cat. You know, there's so many things humans will come up with. But for dogs, it means.
Well, if the black cat runs in front of you, you gotta stop and turn around 3 times, and then you can go, and it's okay.
You know, and I don't know if in Czech, but Hans would remember this. But I saw they used to have chimney cleaners, chimney sweep. You know, they used to be on bicycles.
Well, there was always good luck. So.
Good luck.
Yeah, so you go and touch the chimney sweep, you know, and
those guys were always dirty.
And the chimney sweep would come and say, touch my nose.
Yeah.
So he would put black soot on your nose. So it was good luck.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this content so far, please subscribe to our channel. Also, Hans has a podcast channel called Dog Training for Life. Check that out so you can listen to the audio version.
You know, or when somebody has a red head, you pat him on the head.
A redhead, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's in America, I guess, or in England.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody has a really red head, he says, "Can I pet you on the head? Good luck."
Okay.
You know, of course, now they would think that you're like some kind of a child molester or something. You want to pet a little child with a red head.
Yeah. But there's so many things. But with dogs, it can become an issue. Obviously, you're not just saying this to, you know, it can become an issue. Like it's like.
Well, you sometimes wonder why is the dog doing certain things.
Yeah.
Right. When we give them command, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just because, you know, let's say I make one up, right? I've seen it happen. So you heel and you stop. And the dog will spin and sit correctly. So you pet him for sitting correctly, you think.
Yeah.
But in the dog's head, you didn't pet him just for sitting correctly, but you also pet him for that little circle they made. So from now on, they're gonna, you know, and you're gonna have a hell of a time to stop that dog from making circle before they say it.
Yeah. Or it could turn into, not just turn into, but it could be like really bad too. Bad association. There was this woman, I don't want to go too deep into it, but she was petting this dog is awesome, the black dog. I don't want to say whatever, but she was petting the dog every time the dog was going, right? What was the dog doing? Like basically going after, like in the car, was it? Or,
yeah, well,
that's
not really, well, it's kind of a form of superstitious behavior. In other words, I'm not going to say any names, you know. The person, when the dog barked undesirably on people, she would try to so-called calm him down. So she would pet him, and you know, of course, that was positive. You know, so the dog barked more. That's not exactly superstitious behavior.
I'm just thinking,
but it could be.
It became a big issue.
Yeah, it became good issue. Yeah. Big issue. Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, anything else about this?
Well, that's the truth in dog training. You know, it's interesting. Like when I started learning from Hans, I didn't know anything, but I thought I knew stuff. But it's like you don't know nothing. Like and Hans, you've been doing this for 60 years almost, and you're even. I mean, there's less and less things, obviously, but there's still things that you think about. So it's still complex.
Oh yeah.
So
there's always something to work out, but I'm glad. And I asked many trainers, and nobody could give me satisfactory answer about this spinning or biting, you know, and all that. Yeah. You know, I finally, you know, and a lot of times, you know, like I've seen people, they come to my class and then they go train somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the dog, they let the dog do it there, right? And I don't have control over it, so they develop the superstitious behavior somewhere else, and then they come to my class, and I got try to fix it.
Yeah, that's something. Maybe you know we could talk about that in maybe another podcast about that of different. You taking your dog to different like that. That would be a good topic actually. Right. Maybe end it on here. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, Hans, with us today.
My pleasure.
If you're interested in purchasing puppy or a trained dog, Hans is your man. These dogs come in from the Czech Republic. They're flown in. They're not in the U.S.
Czech dogs. Don't buy Czech dogs from Nebraska.
Yeah.
They're Nebraska dogs. Nothing wrong with Nebraska dogs, but don't call it Czech dog.
Yeah, not Czech dogs. So these actually get flown in. from the Czech Republic. And so if you're looking for or a trained,
it's like Ferrari from Nebraska.
Yeah, it's not a
I made the car. It's a Ferrari.
okay.
Ferrari is made in Modena, Italy.
That's it. That's the only place. Also, if you want to build a personal protection dog, Hans has a video series on that. It's a 4-part video series. If you buy the bundle, he'll give you support over the phone, and you can send him video. I give
support even if they buy just one.
I know.
For that one, if they want to for next one, they got to buy another.
Yeah. Best if you make sure you don't skip. Don't buy video 1 and video 3. You gotta. If you can't afford,
there's a succession. They gotta go one after another.
They have to. Must.
Yeah.
Must. So he has that video series too. Obedience video series. Out of drive. Out of drive training, which means no treats or toys.
Why would you want to do that? Because that's the only way you can build a relationship with the dog. Yeah. Meaning leadership position. Yeah. People train dogs with toys and treats.
Yeah.
And then the dog is actually working for itself. He said, I want a toy, so if I put my ass on the ground, after he says sit, I will get a cookie.
Hans has this analogy about a space alien coming and landing, and you don't speak the language of their planet, but you have a hot dog, and then you want the space alien to sit.
So you show them a hot dog.
Hot dogs. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
But so what Hans is saying is that you want to learn the language and get into the psyche.
And have to have it logical.
Logical.
Right? So if you want to train dog in drive, which I have no problem with, but first train the dog out of drive so you can establish the correct leadership position. When you train the dog out of drive, you're teaching the dog to do stuff they don't even so they don't like to do it.
Yeah.
Right? These days in this society, everybody teaches a dog to do things because they love to do it. But what about if they don't love to do it? What about if they love to chase a cat across a busy street? Now you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
Because a cat will always override your cookie.
Yeah.
So that's why you want the dog to work for you and with you, and they gotta do it even so they don't want to.
Yeah.
Right?
People are like, well, how is that possible? Well, you gotta
buy the video, man.
Get the video.
That's as far as I'm going.
That's it. So Alpine Canine Real, like realistic.
Yeah, you can see it in bottom corner on the screen.
Yeah, and also
the right hand bottom corner.
Also, we put it into the show notes too. It's down below too. It's in the show notes, like down below the video.
Right,
too.
but there's a watermark.
Yeah,
Alpine Canine Real, and you can find everything there. Podcasts, short,
all that stuff.
The videos for sale.
Yep.
And then there is a podcast on YouTube.
So all the good stuff, and we just want to thank you for listening, and we will see you guys next time.
Share or subscribe.
Yes. Now, like right now.
Right now, do it.
Not like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like now.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Have you done it?
Silent.
Awkward now.
Awkward silence.
Okay. Ahoy.